Introducing Finding Love in Quarantine, a series that streams exclusively on PureFlix, the most popular platform that I ironically pay money to for Christian content, or as I like to call it, evangelical video on demand, because that's how much I love to hear the sound of my voice. Yes, this is technically a show that came out back in 2020, just months after the whole world went into pandemic mode. Unfortunately, many potential audience members at the time didn't get a chance to see it because they were too busy dying to really appreciate all of the creative ways that their church was trying to capitalize on their national crisis. Luckily, population numbers are bouncing right back up according to the zero research that I did. And that means there's an entirely new batch of sad people who, out of desperation, are turning to their religious figures, or at least former religious figures who happily turned to Hollywood for a higher paycheck. And that's the case for David A.R. White, esteemed founder of PureFlix, single father of a child, and the star of today's short form series that we're looking at because it still feels timely, even though it's centered around that years old pandemic that people are still perishing from. So whether you're here to politicize scientific facts, fight with a flight attendant about wearing a mask, or you simply choose to deny that there was any pandemic to begin with, this is the mindless micro-budget mini show you should be watching. So remember to stay safe out there, and can I borrow some hand sanitizer? Because we're going back in time to start finding love in quarantine, and the sickest faith-based PureFlixian finding ever to be featured on Clip Breakdown. Cue the angel. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is a playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web and break it apart like the old wooden steeple that came down in the winter of '76 to look at each individual clip and decide whether it's pearly gate polished or piece of shoe shine. I don't know. You know how it is. We're just going with the flow. We're letting the Lord take us where he sees fit. Thy will be done, not mine. That was a weird voice. It activated something deep within emotionally. Now, I just know David was inspired by the sudden isolation and probably extra creative freedom time he had once the world was shut down for the pandemic. And it seems like this was one of the first series to come out on PureFlix that was actually produced during the pandemic. That means they probably had an even smaller crew than before. For example, his real daughter is playing his daughter, and it's set at home because there were obviously no studios or locations open for shooting in those first months. If only there weren't thousands of other people at this time who were also creating content from their homes that ended up being interesting. Because what we have here feels very low effort, even for PureFlix.
The year is, you know what, let's not even talk about that, because this is planet Earth. We're all in a fishbowl, kind of like this guy, only there's a whole lot less room to move around. We walk fast, we live fast, things are always on super speed. Travel, commute to work, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to. You could just stop listing things. Like, maybe just get to the actual story, because this voiceover seems like it's eating up a lot of your 10-minute runtime right now, and you haven't said anything new. I can see why some might consider this comforting, although to others, I can see why it would be a real snooze fest. I know quite a bit about comforting snooze fests, especially thanks to the sponsor of today's video, HELIX Sleep. They make the mattress that has been helping me get some of the best sleep I've had in years, every night since last summer, almost one full year. The more busy my life gets and older my body gets, the more I realize how much I need good sleep to function, like most of you probably do as well. And HELIX has shown me how much the right sleep surface helps, because HELIX makes premium mattresses and bedding, each customized to fit your needs and shipped right to your door, no mattress showroom. They even made a sleep quiz to help match your specific body type and sleep preferences with the perfect mattress, because everyone's different. We all sleep way different. I am a side sleeper through and through. Once I found the right side sleeping mattress, I just am locked into sleep when I lay down now. All because the sleep quiz matched me with the HELIX Midnight Luxe with Glaciotech's cooling cover, because she runs hot at night. It used to feel like I was steeping a cup of tea underneath the covers. So this cooling cover is much appreciated appreciated, and is just another way you can further upgrade and personalize your Helix sleep mattress. You can even find the right mattress that works for both you and your sleep partner, so everyone is getting the snooze fest invitation. After 9 months of sleeping on my Helix mattress, I have way less shoulder neck pain. My old mattress was sagging in the middle where I slept, and the sides as well. And my Midnight Lux is the perfect balance between softness and support. And I've never had an easier shopping experience than when I was picking out this mattress. Even getting it out of the box was easier and more fun than having to have someone deliver it ever would be, that's for sure. It just blorps on out of there like a baby calf. With your Helix sleep mattress, you also get a 100-night sleep trial plus a 10-year warranty. And there are also flexible payment plans and financing options available. If for any reason it's not the right fit, you have over 3 months to let Helix know, and they'll help make it right. Even give you a full refund while picking up the mattress for free. Why? Because Helix seems to care more about me getting good sleep than I do sometimes, which someone's got to look out for that. And you heard right, all these mattresses ship straight to your door for free within the US. I love my Helix, and I think that you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix. You can click the link below or visit helixsleep.com/DiRamio to get 20% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream Pillows with any mattress purchase. Dream Pillow! Let's get back to the show. Thank you, Helix, for making me comfortable while my body tries to repair itself each night. This show really must have got thrown together when David White was stuck at home for 4 whole days and realized he could really cash in on this pandemic. He probably wanted to be the first to release such a series in that time where people were really hungry for fresh content, and he had a prime advantage because Hollywood was still sitting on their hands. But this is what David had been preparing for as long as PureFlix has been around. He was primed and ready to create a rushed, low-budget, short-form series, and he was already used to working with a crew that was staffed by his own family members and a few other trusted potential sickos. That was his life before Corona, and it is after as well. One of these associates was Tommy Blaze, a friend I assume, or at least frequent collaborator on PureFlix projects. However, his most known credit, according to IMDb, was when he played Carl, Rachel's rambling date on an episode of Friends in 1994, the one where Rachel finds out. Let's see when he was back in his prime 30-something years ago.
I mean, come on, buddy. Get a real car.
What the fuck? Imagine being like that.
I can't imagine being like that. Because that, along with 14 other obscure acting credits to his name, makes Tommy Blaze practical PureFlix royalty. He was also a stand-up comedian on 80s television, which, as far as television goes, seems like that was when the bar was the lowest in terms of securing airtime. Then he's listed as a producer, co-producer, or executive producer for many PureFlix comedies and sitcoms and movies, things like that. And then, of course, he's the credited writer on things like this.
And then one day, suddenly, we take a big break. A human stop. And this is that moment.
What, you mean the moment you started saying words that had meaning? Based on the title of the show, I'm guessing this will end up being the moment he meets the love of his life, or the moment right after he disposes of her body over the side of a bridge. Look at the gloves, look at the scary eyes and the hair gel. I know this is a period piece, but even by early quarantine standards, I would have no choice but to suspect that man of kidnapping a child. However, David seems really proud of his bike riding sequence since they use at least 4 different camera angles of it. Also, Tommy Blaze coming in clutch with that writing. It sounds really in touch of you to describe the quarantine caused by a virus that killed almost 7 million people as a big break, a human stop. Like, yeah, God said humans stop living to so many people, especially for those of us who weren't millionaire Christians with access to some of the best, most hypocritical medical care available. Or just anyone who could afford to work from their carpeted homes for 2 years and not expose themselves as much. But for those of your fellow humans who had to leave their ivory tower every month just to ensure the basic needs for themselves and their family, I think you might be talking about how fun this quarantine ended up being a little too casually. Sure, there were cozy moments like whipped coffee and tie-dye separates, but that was just to distract ourselves from the fact that we hadn't seen our loved ones in months. And even if they were dying, we had to wave goodbye through a tiny window. So even if the show is meant to like help distract us from all of that, then maybe stop talking about how different the world is now that everyone's gone, you know? Maybe don't make that the whole plot. Or at the very least, you could stop describing it as a list of opposing things like some sort of charismatic cult leader. Let's go to Mr. Rudolph, whatever his name is. What is his name? Randall Rudolph? Rick Baldwin. Alex brother. Rick, once again, is playing a single father here, and his daughter, Ocean, in real life is playing his daughter on the show. Again, probably in an attempt to keep that bubble really small. Maybe he even shot it himself. That can't be. I don't want to look at the credits. Stacey Dash ends up being in this show. Oh my goodness. They have celebrity guests.
My name is Rick Baldwin, and I'm still learning how to do this whole thing. You know, life, living it, trying to be a good dad. A girl dad, if you will.
I will not. And the fact that you would even ask me a question and try to get me involved in this whole mess, it's frankly insulting. Or Dick Baldwin, or whatever. I'm guessing Mr. Baldwin here is a fictionalized version of David A.R. White himself, who was recently divorced around the time that this was shooting. Although, by far the most fictional part of the character is that he's still in his 40s. Because David, you were born in 1970. I can do the math. You just aged yourself down 5 years, but then your boy band haircut is dating you an additional 15. So I think we need to tally things up and make sure we don't look crazy right now on camera. David's with his hair gel, always looking wet, PC, center part. Not for me. Even through this glary window, I'm like, it's too strong, I can't look at it. It's so yellow and peroxide-y.
Time. It's this idea that we have so much of it and that we can do things inside of it. I'm often on the go or trying to use this time. Time seems to me like something that I really prioritize better.
What? I mean, that was pretty obvious that you were just making shit up towards the end of the sentence. What was that about your musings on time? You wanted to prioritize them. Why are you so nervous? This isn't an HR performance review about task management. It's your show. Come on out and tell us something interesting instead of just talking about how busy we all are. Like, yeah, I don't have time for this. Now I know they came up with all of this dialogue after 3 days of not being able to go to the grocery store. Because suddenly, anyone who ever had one deep thought in their life was writing out Instagram captions with the confidence of a great American novelist. Does all of the information being spelled out for us right now really matter when setting up a series? They could have cut most of this out and let us learn throughout the episode most of this stuff if it even needed to be there. That alone would have saved them so much budget on travel-related corporate stock footage.
My daughter gets up, she makes her breakfast, day in, day out. She goes to school, studies for class, goes to dance camp, and then I sell, make calls, repeat sales, build my clientele. Back and forth I go.
Yeah, we get it. You're boring. But did we really need to know specifically that your daughter ate breakfast every morning? Like, how is that gonna be important to my understanding of her as a character? They could have had her doing anything, like writes in her journal, looks at the picture of her mom and cries, puts on a brave face and a tampon. Oh, no, went too far. Leaving it in though. I guess seeing her eat breakfast is the point where you mentally check out of caring about how your daughter gets through the day. Good single fatherdom, Stattersons. So he's saying before the pandemic, they were so busy with their lives that they barely even spoke. They didn't know that much about each other. It's like, yeah, well, she's a child. She doesn't have anything good to say anyway. You take her to the movies 2 weekends out of the month, and that's a healthy baby. I'm tired of this. It feels very much like they're trying to get me to join an MLM.
She goes left, I go right. She goes up, I go down. The cycle repeats. When did we lose perspective? Bills. Swipe more bills. Make money. Pay bills. We get into a routine and it takes us away from the things that we should be doing.
I feel like we should be doing the rest of the show right now. We're a third of the way through this, and you just listed bills 3 different times in the last sentence. So please, David, let's...
California, Ohio, Montana, New York.
So now you're just gonna list the US states in no particular order to spite me? We get it. It's all things at once. I'm taking off from the runway, coming down on the runway. Things go into my things come out of my I use my fist, finger, and elbow to get in there and do my best job. Like, what are we talking about? You're saying nothing, but what I am gleaning from it is not a good mental image. It's just putting me to sleep. Look at this hotel that is supposed to be a hotel, even though it's his guest room in his house. You can tell because it's decorated the same way he does his hair. 2005.
As I pack a suit, a new suit, Another new old suit.
I really think we get it. Traveling for work sucks. I feel like we've been aligned on how busy you are for the whole episode so far. Like, come on, Dr. Sleep. He better not one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish his way through the rest of this episode, because I will have to go and place myself on bed rest until springtime. Ah! Bills, more bills. Swiping left on bills, swiping right on bills. Hashtag no bills, hashtag bills paid, hashtag more bills, money to make. You better get this virus, I swear to God. Rick Rudolph, what's his name? Baldwin?
Virus spread all over Europe. Shutdowns in Asia and all over Europe.
Yeah, you've said Europe a couple times now, along with a few other headline-y buzzwords. He's making everyone out there in his target audience as fully caught up on the world events as they pertain to the series. He said, coronavirus, pandemic, quarantine, wearing masks, let's go Brandon, thousands of deaths, all due to same-sex marriage? Wow. And that was his sign to get on a dating app, I think we'll find. But, you know, just like in real life, they really show you that we all were thinking it was no big deal for a couple days. Because life is going on as usual for busy businessman Brandon. His name's not Brandon, it's Rudolph the red-nosed face.
No. San Francisco?
Okay, I was trying to be nosy and read every single word of that text, but that shot was not on the screen nearly long enough. The font style of the text message itself was, however, longer than one might expect, so I can see that the filmmakers were being intentional there. Balance. That's when David, named Brandon Baldwin, Billy Baldwin's brother, Rick, he's going through his closet of this hotel, I don't know, I think, and he finds a purse with a nasty chain on it that his tacky dead wife must have worn, because that's when she kind of comes to him as a ghost, if you will.
I never really liked that purse.
You said it was your favorite.
You gave it to me as a birthday gift. What was I supposed to say?
Maybe the truth.
And what kind of example would that set for our daughter?
God, even when we go to the wide shot, I feel like her bangs are an entire third person in the room with them. Her bangs are spiritually looming over her bed at night like the red-faced demon from Insidious. Oh, we're talking about their romantic relationship, because if my life is even remotely on track at the moment, then this video should be coming out ahead of Valentine's Day.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
And that's why I've been eating candy on the set for the last 7 days. Not because I have a weird relationship with food. Happy Valentine's Day! Let's go back to this dead mom slash wife talking to us in a hotel room. We're in the motel. My mom is dead. She is a ghost and she sits on the folding out bed. Before we move on, I need to talk about the makeup on these PureFlix shows. I understand that this is a symbolic representation of the memory of his dead wife, which is why I think they tried way too hard to make her look casually vibrant and full of life. Because to me, her blush looks way too pink, and I can tell that that lip gloss is sticky. Combined with her performance, which I think is trying just a little too hard to pull on my heartstrings. It's like the video camera footage of your dead wife that the detective will watch, where she's like, put the camera down. It's too early, no. I love you. Not that I can say David is looking much fresher faced over there, like the Undertaker.
I just miss you so much. I know it's been 3 years. I just don't know if I can do this without you.
Yes, you can, and you're gonna be okay. But someone does need to have a conversation with the makeup artist. Ask her to watch some tutorials on what undertones are, maybe. Because I cannot sit by and watch David walk onto set one more time with a face full of pancake batter concealer, the color of yellow house paint, along with a powdery full coverage base in the shade Bart Simpson. It feels like my retinas are puking into my open pupils right now. It's a medical emergency. This will help. I don't understand how if she's dead, she's crying. It's like, she should be in eternal peace, right? Why is she crying? She's not there.
Don't waste your days wishing for the past to change.
There is no promise of tomorrow.
He's like, wow, she looked so beautiful. I'm glad to know that heaven has lip fillers. If I had to give any feedback to the actress playing the dead wife, it would be that her performance feels a little too wet, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm soggy and uncomfortable, as though I were wearing socks and stepped into some dog piss. This show loves to be like, let's show a shot of this and this and this and this and this. It's like, I don't care what ugly art he has in his house. He's getting ready to go to San Francisco, but then his coworker calls and is like, you might want to turn on the news. news. And then the news comes on, I'm like, oh no, we might want to turn it off. What is this homemade looking screen? Talk about generic.
It may take the strength of great nations and great leaders. However, we are all in this together, and each one of us on Earth has a choice to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our fellow neighbors.
This is a very profound news station, but maybe not super informative, since for anyone just tuning in, all we know is that case rising daily, which is actually going to be the perfect set of names for my first 3 children when I'm a conservative Christian mom. Case rising daily. Come on in now. Line up in the kitchen so you can help feed mama some hamburger helper with your little bare hands. It's the dream. It's the dream we all have. This British guy, for some reason, is talking about the California stay-at-home orders. I guess they're watching British people on America back then because they had Corona first. I don't remember. Too long.
I guess the doctors told the government that they need to stay home for a little while so they don't get sick.
So can Emma come over?
I don't think so. I think she needs to stay in her home too.
What about dance camp?
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry, but
Dance camp
died of COVID. It's never coming back. It had a pre-existing medical condition, which was that I hated driving you there every week. So sorry, yeah, end of it. Also, good luck homeschooling yourself, baby girl, because I got some Zoom calls to get on. He said at the beginning she was falling behind in math. I'm like, get ready. She's about to not know the number 1 from the letter L, bitch. I'm just kidding. Kids are smart.
And each one of us on Earth has a choice to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our fellow neighbors.
Excuse me, British broadcaster, you literally just said that a few seconds ago. Here are the 2 shots lined up to catch you in your plagiarizing yourself.
And each one of us on Earth has a choice to protect ourselves, our loved ones, and our fellow neighbors.
So I guess the news they watch in this household is both preachy and repetitive. That must be what Christian news stations are like. Hey, if you told me they also prey on the emotions of vulnerable people and pressure them into giving a portion of their salary away, I think we would have checked every box we need to legally classify it as a cult. I'm sorry, what? They don't pay taxes? And I'm supposed to donate how much of my salary? No! I buy processed food with that. Now I'm really stress eating chocolates. I'm sure that as the pandemic restrictions loosened, that's when they began to incorporate those other famous stars such as Tom Arnold and Greg Binkley. Oh yeah, no thanks, I'm good. I know they're only 10-minute episodes, but I could use that 10 minutes watching other episodes or having an episode. I'm very quick with my episodes lately. Let me know, are you feeling the finding of the love in the quarantine? Let me know. I am so excited to be covering PureFlix again. I know it's a favorite of certain people that I've made cameos for. So let me know your thoughts below. Also give this video a big thumbs up and don't forget to click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week. This week I'm kind of on vacation, so I don't know. But all the more reason why you should click that subscribe button right over here. That way you'll be the first to know when I've uploaded a new video. And then I call you up from the heavens to say, okay, it's the apocalypse. That's my Italian-American version of the Bible. Let me get you some ZD to take home with you. You guys are all the greatest. I hope you're having the happiest Galentine, Valentine Day in history. Sending you lots of love from my holy heart to yours. I will see you next time.